There we go. All right. Call of Cthulhu Down Darker Trails, session 28? Question mark. Not really sure about that.
28 last time?
28
was last
27,
time, wasn't
28. We're in the later 20s. And up until now, let's see here. The Dangerous Six headed out of town following two dark strangers. And while the chase went on, the party encountered several, I won't quite say traps, but things that kind of slowed them down a little bit from their direct pursuit. Combats ensued. Dogs were killed. A very, very pissed off, I don't know, werewolfy type creature showed up, and nobody died.
Yeah.
That's because I sold the doctor's soul to save me.
That's right.
What?
The end run of all that combat and such was that the cavalry from the Northern Army kind of not so much intercepted, but got involved, and the big ass werewolf ran off after basically threatening the party.
Promising that he would come back for us.
Oh yes, and doing great bodily damage and such.
Mr. Cloud, I've tasted your blood. I know your smells, your taste. You will not get away.
Apparently, he was unhappy about you skinning his children.
You're going to skin more of them.
Well, that would be an option. For that matter, I should probably ask: are people still carrying around pelts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as scent trails.
I don't have to run faster. I just have to run faster than the guy with the belt.
And at the very end of the last adventure, you met up with basically some scouts, and the corporal pretty much asked that you kind of slowly follow him / wait around for somebody in more senior charge in the cavalry unit to come and have a talk with you all. And I think that's about where we left. So, Danger 6, what would you like to do? You can certainly wait around. You can just say, I'm sorry, Corporal, but we have other things that we need to go do. Or you can just say, you know what? Screw those werewolves and let's head on back to Coldwater and have a nice beer.
As I recall, Vance is pretty injured. He needs probably some.
No, I'm pretty injured.
No, Christopher. Sorry, Christopher.
Christopher's pretty injured.
Yeah.
I think we can talk to the.
I think I'm the only one who didn't receive the benefits of the medical. Or I got first aided, but I didn't get medical treatment. So somebody.
Yeah, we should probably take care of that. I don't think we're in much condition to try to go up against that thing again.
No, I agree.
And in fact, if I remember correctly, the cavalry mentioned that their caravan or whatever they were protecting was attacked. So we should
Scouts
probably,
from it.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Didn't we hear slurping noises?
Well, here's what
you certainly could go, and I mean the corporal mentioned that he saw some of the carnage of the rest of the sort of front scouting detail, and if you would like to go examine that, you all are more than welcome to.
Because we want some more sand checks. Start the evening right.
Here's what I propose, gentlemen. We have injured party. It may behoove us to work with the captain when he shows up and offer our services to help support his caravan back to the fort, where then we can get medical attention for our gentlemen. Also, considering something's out to get us, it may behoove us to have more people between us and it
Also, we should probably get rid of the belts.
In the fort.
Exactly. We can turn them over to the
Quartermaster.
quartermaster there, who can then get them properly skinned and cured. And we could leave them there as bait. The other
Okay.
thing I want to, and I'm trying to tell this to the guys outside of the corporal's earshot.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. The corporal's standing off.
Yeah.
At a respectable distance.
I'd also like to see if we can convince them to take the body of his son back to their fort as well. Because I
Okay.
think the Northern Army would be a much more substantial force than the 6 of us.
But I mean, you do have me.
You're right. So the 5 of us.
Yeah, the 5 of us.
I'm like -1. Yeah, unless someone needs a fast talk or persuade, then hey, wall.
Or if we need someone to set off traps.
Although you're good in a rap fight.
Hey, I want to
Or a
point out that I'm the
dance-off.
only one who actually was in a actual gunfight in town, and I didn't get shot.
That was one time. I don't know why you keep bringing that up.
Because I'm writing my account, my fascinating life.
The Memoirs of Larrabee.
Walter's journey.
So does that sound like a good plan, is to go back with them?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should
I
do
think
that.
we should. I think we should go
Strength-
back with them because
Strengthen numbers or something.
How far
Yes.
out of the way? I mean, aren't we trying to track? Weren't we heading to that one particular ranch? How
Yeah,
far
but
out
I
of the way did this
suspect,
take us?
And we know where to go, but
Hmm.
we kind of need to be a little bit better in standing.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, yeah, I think with the introduction of the werewolf into the equation means we're just not in a position where we can track those black riders without
Yeah.
getting killed.
I just want to point. You keep calling it a werewolf. The thing was, the big one was like what, 15 feet tall. It was the warehouse.
Warehouse. Yeah, yeah.
Warehouse.
But bum.
The other thing
I'll
is,
be
it
early.
would be good to meet with whoever is their armorer there, so I can get my magic bullet replaced,
Reloadified.
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 Yeah, let me hold on 1 second on that.
They might have an armor, I would hope.
The doctor or Edward might have a thought on that. Doctor and Ed, give me an idea roll.
Made it 65.
Made it 50.
Okay, both of y'all can now roll your arcane knowledge roll.
Well, shit. Oh, 13. That was unexpected.
13.
13. Okay.
Show off.
You both have the absolute concept that it's probably not so much the bullet itself that needs to be it certainly needs to be cast, obviously, and there's probably some sort of arcanic scripture or something, but from what your understanding of this new sort of hocus pocusy stuff, there's probably some oogie boogie woogie that's also necessary to make these cool bullets work.
We did say
So-
they would be reduced power if reloaded.
The sense I get is each time you reload them, they get weaker.
Ah.
Like a third or fourth generation shot, but unless we're going to start becoming occult experts or
Why not?
Freemason, whatever's. Well, I don't even know. Was that? Did you get the sense that was something that his society created?
It
or
was
just
something,
that
no,
he
it was something that he
happened to have?
had. If I remember correctly, he said it was something that he had. He
Yeah.
didn't have much use for them. but he thought that they could be useful to us. I never bothered to ask him if there was a way to make more, because
So
he
I
never
think we all know
implied
a
that
guy
he
who has
knew how to make
probably
them.
access to
Right, and this
Now
was
I gotta
before
admit, I'm
you knew that
interested in
he
finding out how to
was
make them.
right. This was before you at least have the idea that he was or is associated with the sons of Abraham and things like
Mm.
that. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, could you get a bullet, refitted into the casing? Sure. You know, in any um, armor that there's two or three different people, even in cold water, that could uh, you know refit a bullet into a casing with putting in a new uh, primer cap and
Projectile.
some
Yeah,
yeah
gunpowder,
Powder and then the projectile, yeah.
yeah
holy water.
See, I
That's
just figured it was just the casing. Actually, my character still believes it's just the casing because that's what he was told.
right. Well, I mean, outside of the doctor and Edward have now
Yeah.
informed you that that might not be the case. That it might be more to it than that.
something more is needed.
It's
Well,
kind of
hopefully there
peanut
might
butter
be a
and
little bit of
chocolate.
yeah. All right. Well, I'll just keep that
Your ritual
shell
is in my bullet. My bullet is in your ritual.
That's
in
right.
my pocket.
And of course the other thing is when you do look at the shell casing, there are some arcanic whatever's on it, and do you necessarily want to spread that knowledge even to the armorist in
Yeah.
a union, whatever?
This is contraband. Mine now.
Yeah,
No.
that would be a possibility.
I figured I would just say it. I scrawled some stuff on it, so I knew it was my lucky casing.
Sure, yeah, that would probably work with a persuade roll or something along those lines.
It's my good luck charm.
Or you could just look at him all squinty eyed and say, "It's none of your business."
This
Oh,
is
yes,
true,
sir.
too.
Don't you mess with that now.
That is true. So the general feeling of the party is that you want to go along with the.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, really, a few minutes later, another small subset of horses approaches your party. Since you didn't indicate that you wanted to go to the site where the scouts evidently encountered.
I think we know what was going to find there.
Probably, yeah. I mean, yeah, the little group of scouts that first came across you, they were clearly shaken up, so it would not be terribly unreasonable to assume that you all would probably be at least partially shaken up as well. Three riders show up. One is the returning private that was sent off in the first place. And you recognize, let's see here, a sergeant and somebody with captain's markings coming up. And I believe it was Jody who went off to go pick them up, Private Jody. And
That could have been it. Yeah.
He approaches first, and he stops and kind of bobs his cap and says, and the other two riders pull up right next to him, and Mr. Durango and company, I'd like you to meet Captain Frank Horner. Captain
Captain.
nods.
Captain.
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 And
I don't know what's sadder is that happened or all of us did it.
What was his name? Captain Frank what? Horner?
Yes.
Have I met him before?
Let's see.
He's from Dodge City, right?
Well, from Fort Dodge.
Or Dodge.
Give me a no roll. And you're looking for a hard success.
All right. He looks familiar, but I don't know if
No.
I met him. But the uniform is, distinctive.
Right. Yeah, rings a bell insofar as face, but maybe
So, can you
was
give me the name of the person that I checked in with when I came into the area? Lieutenant Hodges.
I thought it was a colonel that you knew. You knew the regimental commander.
Oh yeah, you said something. Yeah.
yeah, Colonel Croker.
Okay. All right.
And so Captain. So you all encountered the same entity, evidently, is what my front guard came across. Is that correct?
I believe that is correct.
There's all kinds of strange things going on around here. We just left our town, Coldwater, tracking 2 murderers on black horses, and unfortunately, we got in the way of this werewolf and his, or whatever, wolf creature and his children.
I had another group of my scouts report 2 other riders heading hard north up towards Dodge. Were those the 2 people perhaps you were pursuing?
2 individuals pretty much dressed all in black, riding.
Black horses.
Black horses.
Yeah, that largely matches the description. That'd be correct. Yeah.
Those could definitely be the 2 gentlemen that we were in pursuit of.
I see.
Unfortunately, our ability to pursue them has, so we're pursuing them on behalf of the sheriff, at the behest of the sheriff, to run them down because they caused mayhem and injured quite a few people in the town. Did they kill anybody, or was it just injuries?
No, they killed somebody.
Yeah, so they'd murdered
Yeah,
some
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, one person died, maybe not intentionally, but yeah.
We're trying to bring them to justice, but unfortunately, they're tangling with this wolf creature.
Yeah.
Left us too weak to continue, unfortunately.
Well, I see you have some wounded. Your face is familiar to me for some reason there, and he's looking at you, Dr. Trout.
Oh, I'm Dr. Gabriel Trout, United States Army Major, retired, on disability. Yeah, I've met Colonel Croker when I came through town to pay my respects, and as a good Union man.
That wasn't too terribly long ago, right? Or maybe
3-4 months ago.
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. I remember you coming through. It's good to see you again.
Yes, absolutely. And if you have any injured, if any of your folks are injured, I'm happy to provide medical assistance.
Well, we do have some injured, and I do have concerns about my injured men. Say the fort's well, we're going to have to take
Right.
a little bit more of a circuitous route than we typically would to get to the fort.
Well, I had hate for our conversation to cause anyone to come to more harm. So let me see what I can do to help.
Very well.
I'm happy to head off and let you guys continue the conversation.
Is the rest of your group of sufficient health to
ride?
To ride in post
You can
haste?
manage.
I think so.
We can ride. We won't be too happy about it, but the alternative is staying out here with a 15-foot long wolf. So yeah, I think we're motivated.
Well, I suppose at this point, safety is in numbers. If you could take a look at some of my men, and of course, complete your administrations to any of your own people, and from there, of course, I have no authority in tying you up on whatever your duties are to the sheriff. Although I do not see any deputy badges, but I understand in times of need, deputization can simply be by word of mouth.
We had it. We were after them 5 minutes after it happened. So,
Understandable.
A few, practice an hour. So.
So are we much closer to Dodge now than we normally would be in Coldwater?
Oh yeah.
All right, well, he probably knows me. Since I am from Dodge and I'm a noted journalist. But
Until you, he probably wouldn't know you by face though.
yeah, he would recognize my name. But that's okay. Good to know. So how close did we get to Dodge in terms of, if we rode there on a normal ride?
Normal pace ride, it would take you. Let's see here. If you did it in one riding starting now, you would get to Dodge before midnight.
All right. So yeah, I'm pretty beat up. I guess the only one who's really seriously injured is Chris. So we probably should get him horizontal and not in imminent danger of getting shredded. All of us for that matter.
I can ride just fine, just not hard.
Did we lose both of our hired guns or just one?
No,
Just
you-
red shirt one.
Yeah, red shirt one's gone.
He was disassembled.
Let's see.
Red shirt one.
Was he the shooter or the knifer? I think
He was the knifer.
Use the knifer.
Yeah,
Yeah. He chose poorly.
He
brought
brought
a
a
knife
knife
to
to a werewolf
that's
fight.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so you lost Roger Mayweather, and you still have Tom Dean is your
Tom
remaining
Dean.
red shirt.
Did Tom Dean seem shaken by the whole?
Oh yeah, yeah. He went and
yeah,
had his own throw up
Is that-
session,
yeah.
and yeah. But somewhat recovered now because he didn't actually get injured. Just
But as he does not have a name tag, his future survival isn't doubt.
but he has a name now, so
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a name tag.
So okay, so you all mount up. Chris, I am going to ask you to do a riding roll. Just don't roll real bad.
I figured that was unfortunately I've got a semi decent ride.
Here's the 100.
30 out of 45.
Oh, okay, great,
I made it.
great. All right.
Who isn't hurt
Who is
besides
not
me?
hurt? Tom
Besides
Dean.
me.
He did not get hurt.
Okay. In that case, Tom and I will put the dead guy onto his horse as originally planned. And will the horse support the corpse of the other werewolf?
Oh my.
Hmm.
Would it actually be willing to carry?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a very valid point.
Which, by the way, hurts our cause.
Who's got some animal handling? Or was it
That's what I'm
riding?
looking for.
Yeah, you're going to want some animal handling.
I don't try to
at
understand.
best.
I just rope him time and ran.
And anybody who did the actual gutting of any of these animals, the horses. Who's done? I know Vance and Ed. You all did like
Where just wolves.
carving, right? But yeah, but you took the wolves apart, kind of thing, and have not had much of a time to clean up. If I would be
Probably not.
so, you two are probably not the best, covered in gorsh, trying to lift this behemoth critter onto a horse that has already lost its primary rider. So,
Yeah.
so let's hear. So Dean, I'll give him a sort of a defaulty animal handling here. 23, sure, okay. He calms the horse down enough. Got to do it. So who has the best rope use?
5.
5%. Yeah.
I got a
That one?
15.
Oh yeah, 5. Mm,
Well, who wants to give their rope use roll a go to secure this, 250 pound corpso onto the horse, along with the other corpse onto the horse?
I have a 15 and I will blow a chip to give myself an extra die. I believe there's a chip that I can do that with.
is that the blue or red camera?
Is that a
Really
blue?
he really wants that pelt.
Let's see here. So
Or that
Or of course, you could always ask the captain if he could assign one of his men to do it.
yeah, well, you could probably.
Do y'all have a cart?
Well, actually they do.
Hmm. Might be better because that way the horse isn't freaking out as much.
Carl, did you
Yep.
get your beard cut again?
Yeah, I got that cut Saturday. And my dome chromed.
Looking sharp.
Yeah. You weren't here. I actually gave notice on Monday, starting a new job on the 8th.
Congratulations.
Wait, is that a
All
good
right,
thing
so-
or a
Yeah,
bad
man.
thing?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Before I
So-
offer congratulations.
All right, so I guess we're back to gaming. Sorry.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
bad.
So does anybody ask any of the cavalry members whether extra?
That was my
horse
idea.
or- yeah, so.
I will. I'll try to persuade somebody. I'm pretty good at that.
I would check with probably the corporal or the sergeant.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Corporal Pickens has probably had the most repertoire back and forth with you all. What do you ask him?
Say, hey, we went through a lot to get this pelt, and none of us are really skilled at hauling it. You got anyone who's a rigger or got some good with ropes that could maybe help us get this onto our horse? We've got the horse calmed down.
He kind of nods and kind of looks and kind of goes, well, perhaps I hate to suggest the idea of splitting up your group briefly. It sounds like the doctor's needed. Well, the doctor's definitely needed on some of our injured that we've got, if he's willing. But we do have in our wagon train, a wagon that we could probably bring down here. Take a couple minutes, but probably be easiest to, with respects to your fallen comrade, we could probably just put him up in a cart or in a wagon.
Okay. I'll call the doctor over and kind of let him relay what he just suggested about easiest way to move the pelt, but they also want you to come along with them. So the split up. Maybe we should send Vance with him.
With the doc.
Yeah, yeah. So he's not
Yeah.
by himself. Just on the off chance they want to sacrifice him to some elder god. I mean, it's always
That's
possible.
not the cavalry at all.
Well, I would feel much safer with
It's
Vance,
the Helvery.
along
No.
along. Much as I respect the U.S. cavalry, I also know the caliber of a recruit has gone down since the war started.
All right. Well, I
that's
say
fine.
the doc and I will meet up with the injured. And you guys handle our poor
Son of our new
or lost
arch enemy.
comrade and our prize here and get that loaded on.
All right. The captain quickly details Private Bass, who was the other person in the initial scout party, to ride hard on ahead back to the main group to get a wagon down here as soon as possible, and actually, I think the other two scouts will probably stay also with the party here, and the captain and the sergeant will head off with, I guess, Vance and the doctor back to the riders to take a look at their possible injured and such as well. How's that sound? All right.
All right.
So we'll fast forward a couple minutes, and
That's the fast forward sound. Ah,
I can't make that weird tape noise sound. Doctor and Vance, you
what's the sound of a hand crank phonograph speeding up?
that's right.
That's
You all get to a fairly large cavalry cohort, and you see a wagon train as well, larger than what would typically be with a cavalry unit.
So it's a troop, like a company size level, with by 80 to 100 people.
Well, the train, or the wagons, would maybe be about right for a 100-horse cavalry unit, for a
Okay.
company, but there's not 100 men here, so it's a sub detail of the company.
Okay. And they have a couple wagons, I'm guessing. So sounds good.
Yeah, but the wagons are not labeled as Union wagons. But this is immaterial, Walt, because you aren't there.
It's incognito.
Good point.
So, but certainly, Dr. Trout, you recognize that the wagons that they are evidently escorting are not Union standard wagons. They don't have the livery of the Union Army on them anywhere, et cetera, et cetera.
You don't have the big U.S. branded into the buckboard.
That's right.
All right. Well, sort of keep an eye. It's kind of curious what are they full of goods, or are they obviously at least one of them has injured in it?
Well, they're all covered.
Oh, right.
So they all got the big canvas kind of, whatever over them. And at this point, you also notice that the rider that, ooh, that was a transformer. I think they just went thump.
Yeah, I just heard that boom.
Yeah. But anyway, the rider that Captain Horner had sent off, you can see, he raced very hard to here, and they appear to already be setting up um, a wagon. It is a U.S. wagon that looks like it's about ready to head back down to the rest of your party. Other than that, you see about 40 riders here, roughly. Um, and you see laying out next to uh, a another Union branded wagon, several men on stretchers on the ground, a couple with kind of bandages, that kind of thing, the wounded, as it were.
All right.
And
I'll head
okay,
over there and see what I can do to help.
fair enough. You see a corpsman working on some of them. Again,
I'll give Vance a look and sort of like kind of like shrug my head, shrug my shoulders, and look at the covered wagons.
okay, Vance, why don't you give me a scan roll?
Shit, where'd my dice go?
And we forgot rule 1 of Call of Cthulhu. The authorities are not there to help you. If you're lucky, they're not there to injure you or harm you.
Well, we'll build up some goodwill
Wow.
with helping these people.
Yep.
A 21 on my scan, which is a 61. So hard success.
Wow. Okay.
Thing is, the Union soldiers, their interests align with ours because we both like to leave
Mm-hmm.
this area without being killed by a 15-foot long wolf.
This is
Precisely.
true. This is very true.
So,
All right. You see in some small printing um, on several of the wagons, Carlton Shipping. But you notice that there's some looks a little like it's been recently changed. And underneath that, you notice at least one cart says Fulton Mining.
Why does that sound familiar? Is that something we've encountered before, Fulton Mining?
It's not ringing a bell. We're not there.
Maybe just because we've dealt with so many different minds
It's true.
that
That's
it's making
valid.
me think that, yeah. Okay, so Fulton Mining. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a good chance that it's shipping. I'm guessing it's a good chance that it's shipping Ghost Rock.
You notice that none of the though it looks like they're clearly escorting these.
None
There's
of
no
the drivers are union.
well, no. It's just right now while everything's stopped. Uh, there are no riders in like the coach seats or anything like that. You know, the drivers and such have are are definitely
Dismounted.
standing. Yeah, they're dismounted and standing away from the wagons. Everybody seems to be giving the wagons,
Wide berth.
yeah, a healthy, respectful spacing.
Oh yeah, that doesn't make me feel comfortable.
Uh, the other thing, oddly, you notice is there's a pretty big sort of guy with that level of success. You notice the um, it's a corporal by his rank membering, and he's got a small girl, uh, just a child, um, wrapped in a an army blanket, and he's just kind of slowly petting her head. She seems to be sort of asleep or just not moving too much. She's moving a little bit, so you don't get the sensation that it's a corpse or anything. But it seems very out of place that there would be. You're guessing maybe like an 8-year-old, 7-year-old girl, uh, in a company of Union soldiers,
Hmm.
especially cavalry.
Looking back and forth,
It's a little odd.
guess I'm gonna kind of look around. Do I see any other civilians?
Give me another scan roll with advantage.
Okay. Oh, with advantage. Good. So be my advantage dice. Oh, an 09.
Okay.
I don't think you're gonna get better than that, but you could.
Nope.
Didn't much need the advantage.
Actually, I
No.
did. That was the advantage
Oh,
dice.
that was okay.
Yeah.
No, you don't see any other civilians at all. So this little girl would, outside of
Would
the doctor.
possibly a only survivor in something that they've encountered.
We should
Since
ask.
the captain or since the captain's probably there, and if not the captain, I'll try to sally up towards the marshal or the sergeant, since Corporal Pickens stayed back with the other crew.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, Sergeant, have you run into any other survivors on your trek? I see a young little girl over there. It looks like you picked up a survivor of some sort.
Yeah. Uh. Well, have you ever been in the army before?
Myself, no.
No. This would be a matter of debriefing. Um, if you get the okay from Captain Horner, I suppose we might be able to give you a bit of info on this, but otherwise, I hope you understand. Until we kind of have an idea what the hell happened, I don't feel quite comfortable relaying what we came across.
So just need to
Hmm.
know.
All right.
Need to know.
Not building
I'm
my
just
confidence.
worried that we just tried to explain to you what we've come across. I just want to make sure there isn't just more of what we've been dealing with today that you might be dealing with as well.
Did you see bodies?
Of
People?
your people?
Oh,
No, the
of
horses wouldn't let us get close enough.
well, let's just say that that little girl over there, he kind of nods. She was the only person we found.
Wow.
Everybody else, we found evidence of their demise, but we didn't find any bodies. Blood,
Am I
torn
close
up
to the
clothing.
conversation?
No, you're at the other camp.
All right, got it.
Really now?
But no actual remnants that we could identify anybody with at all.
This wasn't anywhere near the when your scouts saw two men on horseback.
No, we've been bringing this. We've been, and he kind of looks up at the sky. This was reported to us 2 days ago, and we just started escorting this train back to the fort. But we headed off before dawn this morning.
Okay. Trying to see if these two desperados that we're hunting down or have anything to do with it. We've hunted down one of these gentlemen before, and he went through a town, and he killed quite a few members of the town, but in each killing, he took a limb.
Well, I mean, we gather the whatever happened must have happened 4 days ago, maybe 5, considering the condition of the little girl.
And she doesn't talk, I'm sure, because of the shock.
She hasn't said a word, as far as I know. I mean, Emerson there, he probably have a better idea. He seems to have taken a bit of a shine into making sure a girl don't come to any harm.
Good man. All right. Well, I'll speak with the captain if he deems it's negligible to share with us. I'd be more than happy to help out any way I can.
Dr. Gabriel, give me a couple medicine-y rolls.
I think the other conversation is way more interesting. I do have psychology, so if you need me to talk to the girl. Ooh, that first one didn't go well. I think he was too far gone for me to say.
Oh, God.
I
Way to go,
I
Doc.
guess you know what? Could I spend luck to get myself down to? I got an 89. I need an 80.
Yeah. That's within the 10.
I don't want to hold back on the luck if it'll save someone's life.
Maybe
so.
you're not supposed to drink. The alcohol is to clean the wounds, not to.
I will make an extraordinary effort and spend 9 luck points to try to save this.
Allergic to iodine. Well, we're going to use this iodine on this wound.
It gets me down to 80, which
All right, you're down to 80 now,
is a
and
success.
okay, all right, but you have largely recovered our poor private that you were working on. You got 2 other people that need your administrations.
All right, second one, 71. But yeah, I made it. And the third one, it was a wild success.
Ah, excellent.
Just a flesh wound, really. I'm not sure why he's even laying on the ground here.
Just tired.
Shock.
Probably more shocked than anything else. That's true. So that takes you some time. By the time you're done administrating up, the rest of the party, you all see the wagon starting to come up to you all, and at this point, Tom has seemingly calmed down a little bit too, which is always good. And all in all, speaking, looking pretty okay. So load up the wagon with the big dog and the red shirt number 1. Yes?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's the whole point.
All right. And Walt, do you have a heat pad on your shoulder?
Yes, I have a crick in my neck.
Oh, okay.
I have a knot on my neck that some days it's really bad. Some days I don't notice it. It's really bad right now.
I was
So
just
now, actually, the player Mark Gibson has a heating pad.
That sucks, man.
It's okay. I'll be okay.
okay.
I wasn't concerned.
You load up. You notice that the wagon, as you kind of load up Red Shirt and the big dog, um, it's been cleared out of stuff in a seemingly hasty manner. And you see there's evidence of blood, like recent blood in the wood of the deck um, of the wagon.
Hmm.
Nothing on the burlap stuff. I don't know if they're made out of burlap. Whatever the hell they're made out of. the
Canvas.
canvas. Yeah,
yeah.
there you go. Yeah, oil canvas probably. Yeah.
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 Um, nothing particularly on the canvas, but on the wood, and you all have sufficient enough eye where you know what blood stains would look like after they've aged for a while in wood. You know, they've mixed with dirt and blah blah blah, versus relatively fresh blood on wood. And this is definitely more along the fresh side.
Perhaps they were just carrying wounded. I mean, they had wounded.
Yeah, that's true. Um, anyway, Bai's loaded up, and they start turning the horse team around and start heading back, evidently towards where the larger force is, and the small group of scouts that first came across. They fan out, seemingly. You almost get a sensation by habit more than anything else. Not that they are probably technically on um, scout detail right now, but they fan out anyway. Um, and trot along at a not blistering pace because, well, it's a wagon, and a couple of y'all are somewhat wounded. So, but by the time you get back
Only a
to,
flesh wound.
or by the time you get to the bulk of the forces, you can see the doctor is seemingly finishing up on some ministrations on some wounded who are kind of clustered around a wagon, and Vance is kind of just sort of doing a Vance thing. He's kind of walking around and
Snooping.
being, yeah, snooping a little bit. But you get back to this larger force, and as I say, about 40 riders in total, or 40 soldiers in total. Um, there are, uh, not including the wagon that has your stuff in it, but there are a total of 9 other wagons. Um, so a grand total of 10 wagons, of which oddly 6 of them are, again, not branded as U.S. Army. 6 of them are uh, by somebody else and slightly different makes, of construction and such like that.
I will go over to where my guys are when they, pull up and kind of do either a motion of, hey, let's rally together, or find out where they're going, catch up with them, and then give them the ideas of what I have ascertained out of that.
Oh. Tell them what you ascertained.
Gentlemen, you'll notice that this group here is not traveling all as U.S. Army. We got a couple of these wagons here that are actually marked with Carlson Shipping, or actually, I should say, Fulton Mining. No one's standing near those wagons, so I'm thinking that they're full of either ghost rock or something unstable.
Something explosive.
That's what I was thinking. But the cavalry sergeant told me that they had been riding out to meet this group since early this morning. What's interesting is you'll see a big burly corporal down that way, probably about the 5th fifth wagon down. He's taking care of a young girl that they said that they came across from another report where everyone had been killed and there was evidence of foul play, but no bodies were found. She was the only survivor.
Clearly, we don't
I-
have all the information.
No.
Yeah, and
The sergeant didn't want to stated that he couldn't really do that. He said that maybe if the captain gleaned it reputable to give us that information, he would. I'm not someone that's very good at charming people.
I would simply ask him, perhaps our journalists would be better?
well, let me forward this. While it is certainly a tragic story, is this something that we even need to get involved with?
Probably
It
not.
doesn't sound like it has any bearing on who we're pursuing and what we need to be doing. My concern is here we go again, throwing another iron into the fire that ain't necessarily something we
Oh,
need
no.
to be doing.
Not our pig, not
I
our.
don't think it's possible to have too much information.
Barnett, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we need to look into what happened to this young girl. I'm more concerned of, is there something that has happened that this girl is now a target and something else is going to impede our journey to the fort?
Walt,
My
Gustav, and
concern
Ed,
is us.
please
not
give me
them.
scan rolls.
Did you say me?
Uh,
There's a dog sitting on my dice. Give me one moment.
Keeps them warm.
sounds like a personal problem.
My concern is us, not everyone else.
And
Your safety is my prior concern.
no, I missed mine.
All right, Gustav.
Regular success.
Bigger success. All right, and
Well,
let's
you're a
see.
regular guy, so that makes sense.
All right, Ed. You notice that the little girl is pointing towards your group. Seems to come out of the stupor a little bit, and appears to even whisper something to the big guy. And then her hand kind of goes off, and she kind of points to the sky a little bit, and then she kind of goes back to her repose that you saw when you first noticed her.
I will share that information. I think that perhaps we should figure this out. What's
Well,
she
I have-
doing here?
So am I aware of that, Keeper?
No, well, Edward was the only person who noticed
Oh, okay. All
the
right.
gesticulation.
I will point that out. She's pointing at us, that little girl.
So did you recount the story of what happened to her to me? Because I don't know if I was busy fixing people.
You were,
Oh, no, you were checking some people out.
yeah.
So A, I have psychology skill, and B, I had daughters. So if
Well,
you
perhaps
wanna,
you
go
should
talk
head
to
over
her.
and talk to the corporal about checking her out.
And so
I agree.
Oh, that's an interesting angle.
that's
Matter
not
of
an
fact,
I think that
if I
gets
can help
us,
her, I will.
I think that gets us the information we need in a beneficial sort of way.
Seems like we've sort of become the guardians of Coldwater, which is probably not what we were hoping for. But it's like, well, if it's a threat to Coldwater, we've got to intervene. So yeah, if that's all right, I'll go over, carefully approach the little girl and the big burly guy that's keeping an eye on her, and I'll move to about 10 feet away and then just wait respectfully to see if
I'll
he
go with the doctor as normal.
Give him the fisheye.
Okay. The corporal who has been, kind of watching over this little girl, he stands up to his full height of about 6'5". He's a big dude.
Corporal Mongo.
Sure.
And you hear coming up kind of beside you, Captain Horner kind of goes up and says, Gant, stand at ease. Doctor, were you hoping to maybe?
Well, I was wondering if there's something I could do to help. Um, Certainly to see if she's been injured or or to try to. I've had some experience dealing with people who are traumatized before.
He again looks over at the big
But
guy and says, "Corporal Emerson, this is a doctor. Just let him look her over. Make sure she's okay. He's got a better eye than we do as far as stuff like this."
And if she bites you, run.
And
She
Gant
bites you, it's
seems
too
to
late.
kind of eye you over the very intensive stare.
I will say, Corporal, I'm a father. I have no interest in harming this child in any way.
Dude, if you gotta say I'm not interested in harming the child, it's already too late.
Yeah.
He kind of nods and he goes, "Yeah, okay, okay, okay." And he kind of steps back, gives her a little room. She kind of holds on to his hand, uh, and he kind of you let the nice man talk to you here for a bit. I'll be right here. I'm not going anywhere. And you notice he evidently referenced her as Sky.
Sky, so I'll crouch down and sort of approach very slowly. And so just to let you know, I don't have a reporter like persuade, but I have a 30 persuade and a 30 psychology. So I don't know what combination of those I'm going to use. I'm not trying
You've
to
been
figure
using
out what
psychology a lot.
I haven't made any rolls on it yet, or haven't.
I have a
succeeded.
persuasive 50.
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Amateur.
You need help.
you guys are fast talkers. I'm like, I
I'm used to conning people.
I bought it with the intention that if people are hesitant about some medical procedure, that I would, have the ability to calm them and help them, Anyway, so that's
Sure.
why I picked those skills. So I'll say, Sky, is that your name?
Uh, she shakes her head and points at the big guy.
He's Sky. He's as high as the sky, that's for sure.
And she smiles a little bit and nods. Go ahead and roll psychology with advantage.
Okay. No, I didn't make it.
No, okay.
It's only a 30, so it's hard,
Yeah.
Um,
Give me an
So-
idea roll.
all right, that I can do. I'm smart. At least I like to think of myself as smart.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I made idea.
You get the impression that perhaps Gant's just calling her Sky just because they don't have a name for her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's I figured. Are you hurt, little girl? Do you do you have a boo boo somewhere that I can that from
She
is there?
points to a small cut on her arm. It's extraordinarily superficial. Um,
Oh, you've got an ouchie. I can. Do you want me to help and make that better?
she nods and kind of puts her arm towards you.
Okay, so I will. I'll get a nice big bandage, I'll wrap it around and say that'll make it all better, and just do the comforting. Kid, get a
As
bandage.
you do that, she says, "The man in two places can help you."
Does she have this creepy ass look? And does it get real cold where I'm standing?
It does not get cold.
The man.
Uh,
Is it like she says that herself, or is it some voice of something else that's speaking through her?
It
And
seems
I
like
only ask that because we've heard that shit.
Mhm.
And
Are you
it's kind of
suspicious of
unnerving.
our dear host? You would never
yeah,
do that.
that's right. No, her the voice at least seems to you like would match a girl of this age.
Fabian.
So it's probably not some sort of weird demonic overdub.
The man in two places can help you.
That's
I'm sorry, I just peed myself a little bit. So the man in two places can help you. That's what she said.
she kind of nods and um
Well, So,
It-
is the corporal here taking good care of you?
until the time comes.
This kid's freaking me out. I don't know about the rest of you.
I'm not hearing this conversation.
I'm like
rolling a
halfway through the
cigarette.
Horus Heresy books, so that does not sound good at all.
We're gonna take you back to be where you're safe. Does that make you happy?
She nods and then looks at you very intently and says, "You'll need allies for the 2 up and coming storms."
What storms are those, little girls?
She points to the east and then points to the just down to the ground.
I hope one of you guys is taking notes. How do you know that?
She
Did
points to
someone
the
tell you?
sky.
God?
She points. Well, no, she just points to the sky.
Hmm.
And then she gives you a big, big smile, and then a hug, and then grabs Gant's hand again.
All right. Well, we've gotten our information, our creepy ass little girl information. All right. If there's anything you need, you let me know, okay, dear? Does she seem happier now? Now that she's
A little bit.
now that she's got her boo boo fixed and she's got this imparted her creepy ass message.
Yeah. She says this. She says, "Tell your friend the 5 others will come."
Are you talking about the 5 guns?
Which friends? Which friend? Which friend?
Which okay. Did she say tell my friends or tell my friend?
Tell your friend that 5 others will come.
I have a lot of friends. Do you know which friend you're talking? Which friend I should say that to, dear?
Um.
The one who's
Yeah.
who's on.
Um.
That's all of my friends. Is it one of the people I'm with?
She makes a peculiar hand sign with her hands.
Is it something I recognize? It's not like a
Give me a
thing, is it?
no roll. Hopefully, a really, really good roll.
I got a really good no. That's just a success. It's not a really good success.
Oh well. You
Those
saw her
are-
make the sign. I don't know. You'll
can I
with your
read
no
this?
roll, you'll probably be able to repeat the sign.
Okay.
Just-
All right. Good. All right.
You
That's
should ask me later.
all right. All right. Well, you take care, dear. And if there's anything else you need to tell me, feel free to let me know.
We'll see each other at least one more time.
Excellent. Well, it was very nice meeting you, and I'm glad that I could help you. And if there's anything you need, let me know. Mr. Corporal Gant will let me know if there's anything you need.
Yeah, Gant's looking at you and he goes, "Huh. More word from her mouth. Last 2 minutes, and I've heard the last 2 days."
My daughters were quite talkative too, so
Corporal Gant just pawned.
she's a sweet girl. So hopefully you can help her. Please let me know if there's Corporal. Let me know if there's anything I can do.
Well, if she mentions y'all again, I'll make sure word gets to you somehow.
All right, great. We're in Coldwater. If you need to send a message, that's where we're based. That's where we live.
You got a
Alright.
telegraph down there?
We do. We do. I'm the town. Well, I'm the town surgeon.
We'll get word to you.
All right. Thank you, Corporal. You're doing a good thing, and I appreciate it, and you're doing the right thing, which is hard to do in these days.
True enough.
in this place. All right, so we'll head back to the group, and I'll impart all this creepy wisdom on my fellows.
All right. Well, what I don't want to do this by transference. You tell the party what you want to tell the party.
So, boys, that girl's got some. She has some. I don't know, prophecy, oracle, some sort of. She says she gestured to someone up the sky told her a couple things. One was the man in shit. I didn't write him down. The man in two places can help you. Is that what she said? I'm sorry.
Did anybody write it down for him?
I
And
wrote
the
it
man
down
in
for
two
him.
places can help.
Okay.
And she also said that she'll see us again, or she'll see me one more time.
Or we die?
I don't know. And she said, "Tell my friend, the other 5 will come. 5 more will come.
5 others will come.
5 others."
Now that's interesting.
Now, how many empty spaces are in that gun carton?
Uh,
5.
yeah, there are 5 empty spaces.
I mean, that doesn't. I don't know if that's. God forbid, I don't want 5 of those guns around. But I don't know if that's what she's talking about, or if it's 5 more of the Black
No,
Riders.
but there's definitely space for 5 guns. More guns, I mean.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
that, and that actually recalls a conversation that not a conversation really, but you remember Bill, the miner?
Yeah.
that I
Vance
went
and
with?
Gustav recall Bill very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I went to. Well, when we were going back to Etna, when we slept for the night, I think I mentioned this, he looked a lot older than he was. And as he slept, he muttered something, kind of like he was having a nightmare. And he's saying, "We're not the ones, but the 6 are calling. And we'll be there, Ray." There's a common theme for 6. Well, I know it's not 5, but correct me if I'm wrong, Doc. She said that the 5 others will come to help. I'm just wondering, it's a loose tie, but I'm wondering if there's something to it.
So she said the man in 2 places can help. She said that 5 others are coming. I don't know if she
5
said-
others are coming. And then we have Bill talking about the 6. So if there are 5 others, I don't know. If she's one of the 6 or something. It's just it's too odd not to bring up.
Well, she didn't sound like she was speaking. It doesn't sound like again, I've seen the movie The Exorcist. Dr. Trout has not. But I don't get the sense that someone was speaking through her. It was her voice. And it sounded like she was passing along something she knew or something that someone had told her. But
well, if the man in 2
that
places,
was not a conversation of a 5-year-old girl or a 6-year-old girl. That was very clearly someone trying to send us a message through her. And
anything else of note?
So if we had to tally up who are our allies and friends? So we got the Society of Abraham guy.
Elks.
Who genuinely he will help us because we can help him, and he's not mercenary. I would say he's one of the good guys, but the number of good guys that I can say are good for sure ain't that much. The miners, they're not bad guys.
Sure.
They've got their own motivations.
I mean, the
yeah. The other thing she mentioned is you will need allies for the 2 coming storms. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. And then I said, what storms? And then she
Doesn't seem important.
She pointed once to the east and once down.
Down.
So the Black Riders are heading north, right, to Dodge?
from your information you got from Captain Horn, yeah.
So
Warner.
that's not east. What lies to the east of us? Do we have a map?
You still don't have a map.
Edward, you had one job.
To bring a map.
Your one job was to steal the county SA map off the wall. So
Was that it? Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize.
I mean, technically, there is a map of something or other in the vault.
So I'll ask one of the military guys. Do you happen to have? I'll ask the officer, Captain Horner. Do you happen to have a map that we could look at, and someone who could tell us where we are on the map right now, approximately?
Certainly. He looks over to uh, uh, another person. Sergeant Bird, pull out my uh, planning table and accoutrement. And Bird goes over to a finer looking horse than maybe some of the other horses and pulls out a small satchel. Then he goes to another horse and he pulls out a
like a field table.
yeah, a little field table. And Horner walks over to the table and looks through the little sack that was retrieved, and he pulls out basically a fairly large map of the area. And it's a good looking map in general. So it's probably not something he'd be willing to part with.
Oh, of course.
But he's willing to. He
So
goes.
We're all here, right?
We're on the same place, aren't we?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Barnett Tracker, you mind coming over here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will see how good first we'll check to see how good the map is, whether it has all the towns and places that we have been to recently, and if there's any of them missing off the map. And then after he tells us where we are, we'll sort of get a sense of what's around us.
Yeah, I did not. I failed to scan my maps.
Oh no, I don't need a map.
Right.
So I'm going to ask Edward if you wouldn't mind. I'm not sure how we may not be traveling with these officers for too long.
Right.
Captain, will be all right if we copied part of the map onto some paper of our own.
Yeah, this is not He
Pretty
looks
sure I
over the
can-
map kind of briefly, real quick, just kind of. No, yeah. this this doesn't have any
no government secrets.
This isn't the real map.
right. It doesn't have any
Right.
troop
ambush points and rally locations.
right. Yeah, it's just sort of a standard field map kind of thing. So he points out where you all are at, and what to the west is pretty much largely dominated by Hidden Box Canyon. Up to the northwest a bit. You could get to Dodge, and you've already been informed that that's uh, maybe a 12-hour horse ride. Let's see here. Not too far away. You could probably get to by 6, 7 o'clock this evening. You could probably get to Ford. Although you would have to go off the main roads. It looks like there's a separate road leading from Dodge to Ford, but on the road you're currently on, or path, whatever trail you're currently on, that wouldn't really work out. You recall
our plan, gents, is to head to Fort Dodge with the cavalry, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
so Dodge is up a little bit north and to the east. And Captain Horner kind of points out that the trail that they've been on for the last 2 or 3 days, this was sort of the easiest of the path, considering how many wagons he's got to deal with. Unfortunately, from where you're at right now to Dodge, they're going to have to go kind of off some of the main trails, which, as you're looking at the map, seems a little odd because it looks like there's a fairly clear trail splitting from where you're at now, not directly towards Dodge, but it would kind of connect up to probably a more widely used trail from Dodge City to Fort Dodge. And you're like, it seems a little odd that they wouldn't be just taking that, considering the burden.
Well,
that,
I guess
We should ask them.
so is that so Captain, is that trail there washed out or something?
oh,
Just you chose a different route today?
he looks
I'm
over
giving him,
at
I'm giving him his out.
yeah, he looks over at Bird, and Bird kind of shrugs his shoulder a little bit, and he purses his lips a little bit. Considering the nature of what's in the wagon train, we didn't want to go too close to Dodge in the first place.
I see. Yeah, that's prudent. If you've got something you don't want rebel spies to see, I can see why that would be a good idea.
Or, to be honest, anybody with a
Or bandits.
gleam in their eye.
Captain, that comes to two things.
And of course, and of course, the least thing you expected was a 15-foot long whelp.
True enough. True
which
enough.
is basically, which seems to be disrupting both your plans and ours, unfortunately.
And to the
So can we, Edward, when you copy the parts of the map down, would you make sure, and let's make sure we've got the areas where this wolf thing operates clearly marked on our map so we can avoid them. 'Cause I don't
I assume
think-
I can take care of all that easily.
you betcha. And I'll try to get you a hard copy before next meeting.
That's certainly no road. It's not a road hazard, but it's a hazard nonetheless.
No, it fucking is.
And
Right.
Even with
And-
the 7 of us at full strength, I don't think full health. I don't think we can tackle that thing.
I agree.
And Bird kind of looks at the captain and says, "You want to tell him about what's east?"
Look at the captain.
Captain goes, "Well, we're not heading directly east. Well, frankly, it's awfully difficult traveling in the east right now. Not like back home east, but east around here east.
Do we,
Landmarks seem to be changing an awful lot. So it's hard to
Like- It's like the land is shifting.
Vance or Barnett, didn't one of you guys say you went somewhere and the mountains didn't look quite right? Like the
Yeah,
ridge should have
Box-
been-
Yeah, Box Canyon.
Box Canyon, things seem to move around in Box Canyon on us.
You show him on the map, would you? So he's
Okay, so you point out some of the oddities that you've noticed. If I recall, Christopher, while you were either heading back towards Etna or on your way back, you also encountered a
Yeah, things
Uh,
were
territorial change of some sort.
is that do you guys think that's the things actually moved, or maybe you just lost your bearings and your perception was affected?
now things have moved. You should know
Mountains
me
don't
better
move.
than that by now, Doc.
I could tell you for sure because I have geology skill. Mountains don't move. I took
Well,
geology
you-
at university.
Unless they do.
Doctor, you will recall that both I believe Christopher and I pointed out an oddity in the trail when we were coming through here again. And we mentioned how.
Greg,
I-
you can
I-
barely
I-
hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll remember that it was either Barnett or myself had pointed out how there was a hill on the trail as we were coming out this way, that it wasn't in the right place either.
Quite right.
So if he says that things are shifting, then we're not the first ones. It's just not us. Other
Well, we
people are
can-
noticing it too.
So we can confirm some of what he's reported. Are there trails that are good that have not been affected? I mean, if you, sorry, let me ask the question out of
Yeah.
like character wise. Are you guys like pro union guys, or are you just not aligned? You're not interested in getting in the middle of this?
I'm from
Union.
Baltimore. I don't have any interest in getting involved in it.
Well, just the idea of like, would you, like telling the union, we can get some positive goodwill by telling the union guys, yeah, this trail here is good. We didn't have any problems on this one, but then you're helping the union, whether
Yeah, I
that's
have no, obviously I have no problem with that.
Dr. Trout, pro union, 100%. I'm from Maine.
Right.
Chamberlain was from Maine.
And considering I was also in the Union Army,
Okay, all right. So we'll, if we can, we'll sort of give some trail, if we can give some trail advice on what went well for us and what roads are in good condition.
yeah,
We can
Yeah,
get some.
that's not-
All right. You point out such things on the map and all, and Bird seems to be taking some notes on that. And then he starts pointing out further to the east. Matter of fact, even slightly. You remember where Wirt, the town of Wirt,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
That was significantly east of Coldwater, right? So he's pointing to an area that's not too terribly. It's somewhat north of Wirt, and he kind of points to a fairly large landmass, and he goes right there, that area. We've stopped trying to even go through there. It's
Is it just too twisted and turned around, or is it dangerous?
we'll head on a single beat Baron, and sometimes we'll find ourselves right back to where we started again.
Hmm.
Even if we're tracking the sun.
How is that possible?
Weird.
That's why we don't go there no more. We've started
Has anyone-
noticing similar problems now just south of Ford.
So it's
So
getting worse.
we don't go there either. Now there does seem to be a fairly decent tract of land between those two that, well, to borrow a nautical term, is navigable. But I don't know what we're going to do if this all starts continuing this way. We won't be able to track anywhere.
Does it feel like you're being herded?
More excluded.
Has anyone had any contact with anyone from those parts? Any
I heard the
letters?
land recently got purchased up by somebody.
There's no towns out in that area. No settlements.
I think Wirt's the closest town. And he points again to the map.
Edward, you got that? We could find out
Yes.
who bought it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Word's kind of
Well, once we get back to a place so I can research, absolutely.
Yeah, our man Tillengast here. He works with the assayer's office. And
Which that land was bought by Montclair.
Yeah. I'm betting you're right.
You hear. Everybody give me a listen roll.
If it's a howling, that's not good. Oh, made it.
Where is it?
No good for me.
No good for
Regular
me.
Success for me.
Good success.
I'm trying to figure out if it's a hard or a critical success.
Oh, hard success.
Failure.
All right, so Vance got a hard. Chris, we're determining hard or critical.
Regular
Critical.
success.
Okay, somebody give a D100 roll for Walt real quick.
23.
23. And his listen's a 45, so 22 would have been a hard. So hard and criticals, what was Vance and Chris? Is that right?
Yep.
I had a critical, yeah.
All right.
Let's hear it from my ears.
Yeah, well, that's true. Vance, you hear right as that name finished being said, you hear somebody behind you just start to laugh a little bit, and then you hear somebody else say, "Shut the fuck up, you dumb shit," and you hear a quick little.
Yeah. I guess we'll both.
Yes. Turn.
Turn.
What the?
All right, all of us turn at once. Ready? 1, 2,
That's
3.
right.
Everybody turn and stare.
Let's see.
Captain, you want to speak to your men about interrupting?
Nah.
Well, I mean, it was far enough away where he's concentrating on the map. To be honest,
No problem. So,
and Christopher, you're somewhat sure that you also heard somebody give a deliberate sort of snort and hawk spit right after hearing the name Montclair.
Sort of like you would say if you something you would do if you were disgusted by somebody.
Yeah.
The guy that laughed, what's his rank?
The laugh was from behind you all.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I'm laughing. Am I able
Yeah,
to
how
pick
many
out who
people are
might
we
have been
looking at
laughing?
then?
you,
All right. May I say something? I mean, could we talk to the officer and just give his people permission to talk to us freely, privately if necessary?
All right, hold on, guys. Only 2 people heard these things. And we haven't shared
Okay.
it with you yet.
right,
Okay.
So trying to say these types of things right now doesn't make any sense. We're
Right.
just trying to figure out
Mhm.
where it came from.
right. From Christopher and Vance's point of view, you all kind of glanced back when you heard the peculiar reaction to that name. You have a visual idea of those handful of people. In theory, perhaps you could walk around and give listen rolls when you're near them and maybe track the voice and name or something, perhaps, if you wanted to
I'll shush.
do
When I turned
something like that.
around, when I
Maybe.
turned around, did I notice anyone immediately look
Yeah.
away or look down?
Not particularly. I mean, it
The
happened quick.
international sign of
Okay.
guilt.
Right.
But I think that was interesting.
By the way, Ed, I really like your hat.
Thank you.
Are we wearing hats?
I'll try for a jacket next time.
Are we wearing hats now?
Of course, he likes the hat.
I wasn't
You know,
told.
with
There's
classic.
a reason. Yep. It's a black leather cap.
Why, yes, it is.
But some reason, there we go. It fits so great with the headset.
I got earbuds, so it's easier.
Yeah, that would be much easier.
I'll kind
I
of
bought this a
nod my
couple
head
of years ago.
at Barnett going, yep, yep.
Yeah.
All right.
And then there's keep an ear out to see if I can match the tone or even overhear conversations.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my listening is going to be behind me at this point.
Mhm.
Edward, are you physically doing sketches of the map right now, or are you kind of committing to memory to do later? Okay. Just give me a no roll. I mean, you got a great no, but make sure you don't confuse east with west or something.
29.
You will be fine in recreating your map.
You're back.
There you go. Totally period appropriate hat wear.
No, if we're going hats.
I'm surprised you're not wearing a hat already. You got to keep that head warm.
That's right.
I can do that.
There you go.
Oh,
It's the
I have
hunt
no
for Red
hats.
October mine.
Yeah.
We'd like to see Montana.
Is that it? Is that one of those pink pea hats, Mark?
No, it's great.
Right, pink pea hat.
It's lovely. Okay, so you got an idea of the map and the sort of lay of the land. You can tell by this distance that you won't get to Fort Dodge until sometime tomorrow. And you can also hear the teams are starting to gather up the wounded that Dr. Trout tended to, getting them up onto another wagon, and you can see, horses are being unconnected from their little feeding hoods and things like that, and basically the general sort of ruckus of a relatively small but not teeny wagon train getting prepared to move again.
I suggest we ride with this wagon train no, they've got our friend's body. So yeah, we're riding with it.
So as we sort of compare notes at some later point, some of you guys riding alongside the Union guys might ask if they had
So
any
I just
trouble.
noticed your hat, Doctor.
It's the latest in Cossack fashion.
I'm
Made
in
with
favor of it.
authentic fake fur. But while we're riding along, we may be able to tease out a little bit about you guys run into any trouble with the Montclairs. Didn't they get the government contract? Isn't that the one that got the big government contract to supply Fort Dodge?
Yes, that information got to at least one of your party members.
Yeah, I remember that one from before. And I don't know, maybe they're selling them shitty, like mealy grain or something like that, or well, they're not grain, but maybe the meat is all grade D, like Mark and I ate in college, and you too, Aaron.
Oh yeah. With what was it? Oleo? What was
Fit
that?
for prisoners,
That was fit for human consumption. Great C, fit for human consumption.
I'm trying to remember what the liquid. It was like a butter substitute that never went anywhere. It was like called Oleo or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because it caused anal leakage.
Oh,
right.
okay, yeah. I remember. It's like
Oh, yeah. They
people
did.
need a whole bag of
They
potato
fried
chips.
Alestra.
I mean, that's not necessarily a deal
Olestra.
breaker.
There you
but
go. Olestra. Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's a feature, I
They
thought.
fried chips in it, and yeah, they would
Right?
super colon blow.
If you guys ever want, and I won't go into details, but if you guys ever want, look up the Amazon reviews of the
Gummy bears.
the sugar-free gummy bears.
Yes,
They're the best. They're the
it's
best.
hilarious.
I actually got someone on YouTube to do that a couple of years ago, like an eating person, like an eating challenge person. I'll send you the link. It's really fucking funny. And that was
Go ahead.
Maybe we should stop
But we
recording.
don't want to speak of dysentery because we're on the trail right now, and that's not something any of us want to deal with, no matter how stylish our hat.
I gotta admit, I still do love the commentary, or not the commentary, reviews of the Bic pens for women. Finally a
I'm not
pen
sure.
that women can use, and just
Yeah.
Oh my God, really?
yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as
insane.
it's the same big pen, only in pink.
Right.
That's absolutely insane.
just crazy.
It's like people that buy pink guns. You can do that,
That you can do that now.
Mhm.
But anyway,
NRA
okay,
loves that.
so the
No,
wagon train is starting up to move.
Yippee ki Yeehaw!
Yeehaw.
Ride 'em,
And you
cowboy.
do note that basically the from especially Edwards, your now sort of mental rolling map, right? You are basically skirting the land that Corporal Bird had pointed out as being changing, but not as bad as the big landmass above the town of Wirt, right? And so you're skirting the town of Ford, which is to your north, and to this other land section that the corporal had pointed out to the south. And so the wagon train is getting off of convenient pathing of convenient trails and kind of going over kind of just the rough scrub um, of the land. So it's slow, it's clanky, it's kind of noisy just because of the wagons and ting
Of
ting
course.
tings and horses making more noises and such like that. But you start moving at least.
That's progress, right,
It's
guys?
progress, movement, yay.
Literally.
You did notice that the riders or drivers, I guess, for the um the other wagons,
The unmarked wagons.
yeah, they were absolutely sort of the last to get on their wagons, sort of reluctant to go.
Are people avoiding them still?
It does seem so, yeah. And the drivers and their shotguns, right? Their uh, guys who are riding
In
with
some
them
cases,
in the front.
literal shotguns.
Right.
Yes.
Um, they seem fine at first, but start going into like an hour into the trip, maybe 2 hours, and they seem to be more furtive, more sort of glancing to the left, glancing to the right. Um, Perhaps they're just
Yes.
being careful, um, but they do seem more furtive. Um,
Well, either that or they're carrying the cargo of the damned in the last group that had these wagons died horribly.
It's entirely possible at this point.
you
Or
have
maybe
not.
we're the cargo.
I mean, you don't even technically know what's in the cargo.
You know, Edward, Dr. Trout, what are you either of you sensitive to unusual things?
Sometimes.
I'm just wondering if you've ever noticed a kind of a feeling around odd things.
And
Sometimes.
I can
Un-
I can find out information about things by touching them. It's a trick that I've learned recently. But I got to use a deck of cards, and it's not real. It's kind of obvious.
I have a
Yeah.
real strong feeling that I can help people heal using a deck of cards, but I haven't done it yet.
I was just
That's
trying to
'cause-
figure out
that's
if any
'cause
of
you've
you
got a
could.
masterful physician with you.
I was
Well,
just
I'm
wondering
gonna
if either
fucking
of
do it the second we get somewhere.
I was just wondering if either of you had the ability of trying to ascertain what it could actually be inside of those wagons without us actually having to try to look into them.
How would that work?
I wasn't sure. I've heard about people being sensitive, as it were, and being able to see things that other people couldn't. And since the way that the doctor and Edward and Mr. Tillingast have talked, I thought that maybe they had that kind of ability.
Well,
You
I'll
can
tell you
call
what.
me Edward.
Well, we're going to
Edward.
stop for the night. If you want, I can get out my deck of cards, and Edward, you and I can decide to play a game of poker or something.
I would love
Real close to one of those wagons. And although I
I
don't
would
have the
love to.
ability without touching something, maybe I can sense something if I get my cards out and there's a disturbance in the flow of the
Warmth.
shuffle or something. I don't know.
Mm.
It's all new to
Christopher,
me,
it
though.
certainly occurs to you that, um, it's a bummer we don't have that special lantern that Mr. Elks was carrying around. That
Yeah.
would maybe.
We will. We have to go back to it.
You're not talking about my lantern. You're talking
No,
about
this
Yes.
is a different lantern.
Okay.
No? Okay. Sorry.
Well, I've got my lantern.
Yeah, you have your bright light.
We find ourselves occasionally plunged into infernal darkness, so good to have
True.
that handy.
But that's
Yeah. Everyone stay here. I'm going to ride really quick all the way to that now.
It'll work.
Yeah.
Just give me a
Past the
second.
werewolves, nothing to worry about. Just go through that unmapped zone. That should be fine.
oh yeah, perfectly good. Now, Vance and Chris, were you going to try to determine via voices?
Yeah, mill about with
Yeah.
mill about the soldiers.
Yeah, dropping back along soldiers at points.
Right. So breaking formation, as it were, and just kind
Yeah.
of. Okay.
Melding in.
All right. Give me both of you. Give me a listen roll.
Yeah.
Hard success.
61, which is a success, but it's just a success. No, 67, which is still just a success. Nothing special.
Nothing special. Okay. And I'm sorry, Christopher, you got
Hard success.
hard success. All right. So this is something you're kind of gathering over time, right? This
Mhm.
isn't necessarily, anything that you're picking up instantaneously. This is be a gather over time kind of thing.
Yep.
So while you're kind of doing that, does the rest of the party have any sort of things that they want to be doing sort of while the train is moving? Let's say it's kind of going over the course of the day, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, maybe starting to get into, evening, early evening, still light outside, but you know,
I'll ride along with the captain and
Okay.
just chit chat with him a little bit and kind of get his thoughts on how how things are getting weirder in this area, how there's been more murders, and share a little bit about some of the the black riders attacking people in Coldwater, and and just sort of the
okay,
get his sense on how things are going in this area. I don't know how long he's been here, but just our luck, he'll have been here 4 months, just like me. So, but if he's been here 3 or 4 years, he might have a pretty good sense of and I think if the conversation rotate, kind of ambles towards it, I can mention, hey, I heard Montclair's got a big contract to I think they're supposed to supply Fort Dodge. That's the what people are saying around Coldwater, and are they doing right by you guys, or are they giving you good supplies, or are they? And then
okay.
I can relate some story about someone bilking us in Missouri during the war and giving us mealy weed or bad rotten meat and stuff like that. So
Just give me a persuade with advantage.
hey, I made it.
Okay, great. So we're gonna stick a pin in that, but you made it. Walton.
In fact, I'll spend 4 points of luck and make it a half success.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, I'm close. Why not? I never make that roll.
Uh,
I'm hoping
Walt
some point you
and
let us get lucky.
Gustav. I assume you two are probably, uh, using your chat 'em up skills, right?
Yep.
Yep, I was
Are
gonna
It's a technical
chat
term.
the captain, but the doctor's hanging out with themselves, trying to
Sorry
figure
about
out
that.
who I'd hang around.
well, don't
You
forget.
can-
I mean, both of you all know that you know, um, a lot of times the more interesting stuff is actually, not necessarily something that the leader of the gang knows, right? Um, in other words, if you're looking for just in effect sort of, any bulk of troops is going to have a certain amount of rumors going through it.
Sure.
and a couple
Subjects of
blabbermouths. You just got to
conversations.
find them.
So we're actually traveling slowly at night. We haven't stopped, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's
All
not
right.
nighttime yet, but it's you're almost there.
All right. Well, I'm gonna find over the largest gaggle of people and see if anyone's actually from Dodge, because I've lived there for 3 years. And I'm gonna start doing some name dropping and see if I can get some folks to talk about stuff. Then my end being that I'm also from Dodge. There's got to be somebody local from Dodge.
Well, not really. I mean, these would be a regiment probably drawn from a very specific location, as most regiments were. The third Maine,
Mhm.
the so actually the odds of anybody in the group
Yeah, being
actually
from
being
this area.
local is almost zero. Actually,
All right. Well, so much for that theory. Well, in that case, I'm just gonna try to ride near a big, loud, chatty group. Just kind of, I have really good listening too, and just basically try to find my opportune moment to see if I hear anything and if it's a good opportunity to interject, especially
okay.
anything that could be where I could do name dropping.
And how about you, Gustav?
I'll
Yeah.
probably go with him. Just like I said, I have
We're probably gonna
I,
hang.
Yeah.
I have a persuade of 50. So if we need to try to talk to somebody,
Remember, you are a reporter, always looking for the new angle, especially
I've got-
from
I've
the
got like
military
three-
man.
I've got like 3 stories I've got on irons in the fire, my friend.
That's
Yeah,
true.
no,
I
no,
got
but you can
hungry
say like, I'm working on a story about life of the regular man, the regular soldier. The troubles on the troubles of the
Convinced me.
Well, this is a pretty big group, right? You said there's about 40 people riding.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's spread out.
at least 10 are dedicated to drivers of the various wagons, so that brings you down to 30. Another 10 are riding shotgun on this wagon, so that brings you down to 20. You got
Are
the
there any
cap.
other officers besides the captain?
Yeah, you've seen Say Captain Horner. Let's see. No, there's a sergeant in here somewhere.
There's no lieutenants with,
There's got to be a lieutenant floating around somewhere.
yeah.
You know, Lieutenant Average Guy.
Lieutenant Singleman?
Guy Gadois.
Guy Regular.
Alan Smithy.
On Smith.
All right. Well, in that case, I think I think Gustav and I are going to ride together and basically basically try to gravitate towards the biggest. I know there won't be a huge group, but the chattiest bunch and see what we can make out.
All right. There we go. That's what I was doing. All right. So Gustav and Walter both give me listen rolls, please.
Okay.
Ooh, 15. That'll do it for sure. That's probably going to be listen 15. Nope, not quite critical. Easily a hard success though.
I failed.
It's too many beans.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, anybody like really hot peppers?
Not particularly.
Yeah, what's up?
I have Carolina Reapers.
Ooh. I've been having some I do fermented hot sauces. So
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
You're a
yeah.
Renaissance man there, Carl.
So yeah, I just did a Chipotle one that turns out really well. It's popular enough. I've got friends saying, "Hey, can you do something like a blend of like Carolina Reaper or Chipotle or something like that?" So yeah, definitely. If you got spares, definitely be interested.
Just remember,
I don't have a lot,
don't
but I
share the
can send
Reaper.
you a few. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of success this year with growing them. They're all very small, but I have a couple of dozen. Would you like some?
Yeah, sure. Have to. My parents live in Falls Church, so we can just arrange to meet up at some time.
Absolutely. That sounds good. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Dave, I thought you lived out somewhere out west, like the
No,
other
I
guy.
live in Annandale.
Oh, Anandala. I used to live in Annandale.
I grew up in Annandale.
Well,
High school.
please roll
Yeah.
another listen roll, as well as please look at your chat window.
Uh-oh, it's a good idea.
Blinking for the last 10
Chats don't
minutes?
show up that often. Hmm. You said give me another listen roll?
Yes,
Two.
please.
Son of a bitch. Oh, got it exactly. So not exactly a resounding success. It's pretty sad given how good my listen roll is.
God damn, Aaron, how old is that hat?
Who was president? Who was president when you got it?
Herbert Hoover.
I bought this hat technically in Blacksburg, so
Mhm.
Black hat, Blacksburg. Got it.
this is the second of the two
Okay.
because the first one started curling on me.
I remember that.
But so yeah, I've had this for probably about 31 years now.
Yeah, this one's only 5 years old. I feel like I'm inauthentic. But,
Well, you should
but
Um,
look
yeah,
at that. Then you could say this has 30 years old.
well, that's true.
Okay,
Um,
interesting. Some of this sounds like scuttlebutt, but you know.
all
Mm,
right, so that's pretty much some of the stuff that you glean there.
And just to know, we're 15 minutes from 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
bugger. Okay. Uh, okay. I stuck a pin. Dr. Trout, you were talking to Horner, right?
Yep.
And getting sort of a general whatever, right? And guiding stuff through, talking about some of the stuff in your past. So you find out Warner and this general regiment was pulled up in Pennsylvania 2 years ago. Um, and they've been basically rotated out here uh, to Fort Dodge. They rotated here uh, about 8 months ago. So they've got another 4 months and they'll probably be disbanding. Um, since the hot war has turned largely into a cold war, the cycles of recruitment into the armies have kind of fluctuated and wavered a lot, kind of depending on the politics of both the North and the South right now. Um, the the Horner is absolutely convinced that there is something physically wrong with the land to the south of Fort Dodge. Uh, he loses sleep over it. He doesn't know if it's a southern thing or it has something to do with this creepy ass rock that they're pulling. You do glean that um, what's in the wagons is ghost rock, but this is ghost rock that somehow seems to be affecting the troops more than your standard ghost rock. Uh, and it's got quote unquote a peculiar color.
Did it come from some special mine that we haven't used before, or is it I haven't heard of any.
He reveals that the wagon train was actually found abandoned. Um, approximately, he kind of goes 5 days ago. About um, thankfully, it was found by an upstanding citizen, and it was reported very quickly to Dodge, and then Dodge sent a communique to us to secure it and investigate because it appears as though quite a few citizens had met with harm due to circumstantial evidence. So basically, a lot of blood,
So is
torn
that?
up
Oh, that's
clothing,
so
that kind of thing.
the girl was found in the abandoned convoy,
Yes,
and all her family and kin were
missing,
presumably killed.
for lack of a better term, presumably dead.
And so where did that happen? Is that some because it's certainly a place I'd like to avoid. Is it
It
was that
happened west of Dodge, probably about uh, probably about 10 miles west of Dodge, about 3 miles south of the primary rail track heading out west.
okay? I mean, yeah, I have to say, there's I mean, we've all heard about the dead coming back to life at Gettysburg, and we've seen it ourselves, and it's just I worry that things have gotten stranger and more deadly and dangerous in this area in the last few months since I got here, and I've only been here 4 months.
Totally
Um,
agree. From the 8 months I've been here, things do seem to have been escalating. Um,
and it's not a north south thing. It's just this is not Yeah, I wonder if you plot. And I'd be interested to see if we plotted these things on a map. Like if we talk to people about where these just is it all focused on that one area? But like there's a house near Coldwater, and I'll sort of give a brief description. Like the owner, it burned to the ground, but now it's back, and it's got this creepy. We checked it out, and it was like there's just it's not just it's all in one place and it's radiating out from that one place. It just seems to be popping up everywhere.
No, agreed. I had when we were transferring to Dodge. Obviously, he refers to Fort Dodge as Dodge. He doesn't refer to the city of Dodge as Dodge. Uh, when we were coming to Dodge, I had uh, a group of 10 men and the horses literally disappear. We'd assumed they had they had either deserted or had met with some foul end, and we had bivouacked in a very secure location. And they literally, when we all woke up in the morning, sentries didn't see it. They were camped just like they had camped before they had disappeared 100 miles further east. It's like they had disappeared and suddenly appeared.
100 miles away without any trace.
No tracks. They were perfectly fine. They were just missing a week. They were wearing the same clothes. Hard to tell with uniforms, but you know how it goes. And they all swore that nothing changed except for a certain amount of disorientation because they were 100 miles further along in their journey, and they thought payday was 2 weeks away, and it was 1 week away.
Oh, that's a blessing, I guess.
A little bit of a bonus, but that just
So,
happened, you know, 8 months ago. Just traveling here, we weren't poking around or doing anything.
so was that west of the Mississippi? Because my kin and my family in Missouri and St. Louis, they're not reporting any of this. I mean, there's weirdness, but it's not like it's weirder out here. Is in Pennsylvania? Is are things odd
Oh,
things happening?
well, I mean, I get personal letters, of course, as we all do, as well as official information from the government and my higher ups. And through government agency, well, everything seems to be pretty normal. Privately speaking, there seems to be a lot more of these devices and machines that are ran by this powdery
Ghost Rock.
ghost rock. I understand that both the South and the North have taken to exporting ex, exporting it to Europe now at a considerable price markup. Um, and just the things that this stuff seems to be able to do, or through manipulation of it, just that's in it on itself. I mean, so what that big firm up out northwest, the um, and he kind of snaps his fingers for a couple seconds. The Hellstroms. I mean, they got mechanical men walking around now. I ain't right.
I bet they wouldn't make good cavalry soldiers.
I understand for the most part they're just guards, and then maybe they do make pretty good guards because they don't go to sleep. But nonetheless, that just doesn't seem right. So I have concerns along those lines. Now, insofar as seeing ghosts and such like that, I admit, outside of big issues like this, I'm for the most part in the fort. But some of my men have been reporting more and more peculiar things. Yes, they have encountered some of the dearly departed, still not ready to seemingly depart yet a second time. And some critters that, well, nobody told me about any of these critters any of my books of learning when I was growing up.
Oh no, they're definitely. I'm a man of science, and there's they're not. There's these things are distinctly unnatural, and they don't follow the rules that we were all brought up with, unfortunately.
Yeah. So
That's a good point.
it is not something that is exclusive to this area, but in the last several months, call it 6, not so much the first couple months I was here, um, reports of peculiarities happening to the west and to the south of the fort have been increasing. At first, you throw them off as, you know, visions of laudanum or too much drink. And then you kind of go, okay, well, you got rumors that get amplified from the Talons, but it's just too many, too
No,
often,
no,
too
and
strange.
I have seen things with my own eye. I don't know. Were you there when the wolf thing attacked, or was that
No,
just
I
some
was
of the
not.
that was my hand on a Bible. That was a 15-foot long wolf that moved faster than anything I've ever seen.
Tall,
And it, sorry, was that?
tall, not long, tall.
Tall.
Oh, tall, yeah, 15
Yeah.
foot tall, and standing on its hind legs and talking. And so let me ask you this: what? So when you have a threat like that to commerce, is that something the cavalry is charged to go respond to? Are you guys gonna try to 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 launch an expedition to hunt that thing down so that people can travel safely on the roads, or is that beyond what you guys are capable of doing, or your
Well, we're going
orders,
to report it back to the west, or sorry, to the east.
and they'll decide what to do?
Yeah. Considering the worldly or unearthly nature of it, we'll probably send it up and see if the Pinkertons want to take care of that.
Or at least
There
if
are
you're going,
representatives
make sure you
in
bring 3 or 4
I'd
gallons.
like to watch them do it.
well, there are some representatives in Dodge who might aid in whatever agents are dispatched. Um,
Yeah, is it just me, or can you never really? I never get a sense of what side those guys are on. I mean, I know they're, just they always come across as they got something else. They got something else going on besides what you think they're doing.
well, Pinkertons certainly have a bit more of a hard uh, uh, well, they're more hardliners insofar as handling this hocus pocusy stuff. I understand in the South with the Rangers, it's a little bit different a story. If they see somebody doing that sparkly stuff, from my understanding, half the time they're more inclined to try to bring them into their organization than stamp it out. But again, I think that's a question more of circumstance. Is it doing the greater good harm, or is it doing some good, or just sort of neutral, just futzing around with things? I mean, people just can get in mischief with that kind of stuff, I guess. So, Chris and Vance, y'all have been kind of cycling around. Eventually, you have whittled down um, the. You never really got the spitting guy.
Yeah, didn't expect to.
Yeah, you just never got the spitting guy. Uh,
Taking saliva samples.
but you have identified a sergeant. Um, you've gotten the name of Jackson, so it's Sergeant Jackson, and that's the one that did the slapping. And uh, where's it? Duvall, Chris Duvall. was the one that gave a laugh.
And I'll note right now it's 9 o'clock.
Mm, it is.
And I'm dead in my seat.
I'm
Right.
being
Oh,
mobbed
man.
by dogs that I think want to
I
go
understand.
outside. Hey, shush, shush.
But
I think you should eat some of those hot peppers and do a little dancing. And then you'll be good.
Dude, I'm here.
Come on, knocking all my stuff over.
okay, so I think a lot of y'all characters have now picked up a fair amount of lines of inquiry. I somewhat deliberately didn't throw in any combat. I figured we had two games of combat in a row.
It's
so-
only
No, that
'cause
was
we can't
cool.
afford
I
any more
appreciated
combat.
that.